Hello, my dear students. I am Nivedita ma'am. Today we are going to start our new topic, that is morphology of flowering plants. Morphology of flowering plant. Morphology means our earth has a vast diversity of plants. These plants shows external as well as internal characters with respect to their habitat. So, morphology is nothing but external and internal characters of flowering plants. So, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the characters. Now, plant possesses root system and shoot system. We already studied in ninth and 10th. So, today's subtopic is inflorescence. Now, what is inflorescence? Inflorescence is nothing but a group of flower. Flower may produce singly or in a group on a plant. When produced singly, it is called as solitary flower, and when they produce in a group, they are called as inflorescence. I repeat, if flower is produced singly, then that flower is called as solitary flower, and when flower produced in a group, the group is called an inflorescence. Inflorescence flowers are arranged in a definite patterns on a special reproductive branch, and this branch is called as peduncle. So, a flowering shoot or an axis bearing a cluster of flower is called inflorescence. When a shoot tip transforms into flower, it is called solitary flower. It can be solitary terminal. Example is poppy, and solitary axillary. Example is hibiscus and petunia. Now, inflorescence, a natural group means clustered of flower produced on a special reproductive axis. That axis is called as peduncle of a plant is called as inflorescence, and that inflorescence is of three types: racemose, cymose and special types. But in 11th standard, only racemose and cymose inflorescence is there. So, first of all, we will discuss about the racemose inflorescence. Okay. So, what is racemose inflorescence? Racemose inflorescence is called as indefinite inflorescence. Indefinite because its peduncle means stalk or axis, okay, shows continued growth for an indefinite period. Okay, so first of all, you observe this diagram carefully or picture carefully. Here, this green color structure is what? Peduncle, or it is called as axis. Okay, inflorescence axis. Now, here there are some small flowers then large, and or we can call it as younger flower, and these are the older flower. Okay, so in this is a group or bunch of flower. Some flowers are present terminally, okay, terminally, and they are, some flowers are large flower, or we can call it as older flower and younger flower. So racemose inflorescence is nothing but it shows acropetal succession. Acropetal succession means younger flower at the apex and older flower at the base. So this is apex of the inflorescence and this is base of inflorescence. So in this type of inflorescence, the main axis possesses a terminal bud which grows indefinitely. As I said earlier, means this is a terminal bud. Terminal bud, this bud is never terminate into flower or never converted into flower. Okay, so the growth of the inflorescence axis is indefinite. Uh, which grows indefinitely, giving rise to lateral and axillary flowers. Flowers are born acropitally. Acropitally means old younger flower at the apex and older flower at the base. Example is wheat, radish, amaranthus, mustard, willow, or caesalpinia. Okay, this is a common example of racemose inflorescence. You can observe this carefully. These are the younger flower. Okay, they are at the apex and older flower at the base. Okay, so in a racemose inflorescence there is acropetal succession of flower. Acropetal, younger flower at the apex, older flower at the base. Second, the opening of a flower. Opening of a flower is centripetal manner. Centripetal manner, the order of opening of a flower in a racemose inflorescence is always centripetal. That is, flowers which are peripheral or lower in the inflorescence are older and mature earlier. Means these flowers mature earlier, then while the flowers which are in the center or nearer to the apex of inflorescence are younger and mature later. Okay, so centripetal means towards the center. Towards the center, opening of a flower is towards center. Okay, so example is gold mohor, or we can commonly called as gulmohar, caesalpinia, etc. Now next type of inflorescence is cymose inflorescence. Cymose inflorescence is called as definite inflorescence. Okay, it is called as definite inflorescence. Why it is called as definite? Because the peduncle means inflorescence axis has a limited growth. As in earlier diagram, the inflorescence axis terminal bud, this terminal bud is never converted into flower, so it is called as indefinite. Okay, it grows indefinitely, but in cymose inflorescence, terminal bud, okay, it is converted into flower, so it stops the growth of inflorescence axis or called as peduncle. So the cymose inflorescence is called as definite inflorescence. In this type of inflorescence, the main axis terminates into flower and further growth takes place by the lateral branches which arises below the terminal flower. Example, jasmine, mogra. Okay. Then flowers are born in basipetal order. Earlier in racemose inflorescence, flowers born in acropetal order. Acropetal means younger flower at the apex and older flower at the base. But in basipetal, younger flower at the base and older flower or mature flower at the apex. So main axis has a limited growth. So this is Jatropha. You can wait. Okay. So this is older flower at the apex. So growth of inflorescence axis stops. Okay, so it is definite, and younger flower at the base. Okay, so this is the difference, and this is diagrammatic representation, racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence. Okay, so this green color structure, this is called as peduncle. Okay, this is called as peduncle. This is peduncle. Peduncle means the axis of inflorescence, means at axis on which group of flowers are, many flowers are present. Okay, so in racemose inflorescence, this older flower at the base, and younger flower at the apex. Okay, and this is terminal bud. This terminal bud is never converted into flower. Okay, so and in cymose inflorescence, this terminal bud is converted into flower. So here this is indefinite and this is definite. Okay, and this is older flower at the apex and younger flower at the base. Okay, so this is acropetal succession and this is basipetal succession. Okay, one more diagram is there, diagrammatic view. So here the growth of this is a racemose and cymose inflorescence. This is older flower, and below this there is a branches. Okay, this is another lateral branches, and here also older flower at the apex and younger flower at the base. So observe this diagram carefully to understand the difference between the racemose and cymose inflorescence. Racemose inflorescence, the main axis of unlimited growth, and in cymose inflorescence, the main axis of limited growth. Why it is? Because in racemose inflorescence, terminal bud is not converted into flower or never converted into flower, but in cymose inflorescence, terminal bud is converted into flower. Flowers arrange in an acropetal succession, and in cymose inflorescence, flowers arrange in a basipetal succession. Okay, acropetal means younger flower, chote flower. Okay, they are at the apex, and older flower, bade, mature flower at the base. Okay, वो क्या है? Acropetal. Basipetal, older flower, bade flower at the apex, and younger flower or bud, okay, they are at the base. Third difference is opening of a flower is centripetal manner. Opening of a flower is centrifugal manner. Centripetal means towards center. Centrifugal means away from the center. So opening of a flower is centripetal manner and opening of a flower is centrifugal manner. Centrifugal away from the center means first center वाला open होता है और बाद में side वाले. Okay, in cymose inflorescence. Usually the oldest flower at the base of the inflorescence axis and usually the oldest flower at the top of the inflorescence axis. So this is about the difference cymose, racemose and cymose inflorescence. Okay. So what is the significance or importance of inflorescence? क्यों important है ये inflorescence? And inflorescence is beneficial to the plants in many ways. It makes flower more conspicuous and attractive. Therefore, it is more effective in attracting pollinating agents such as insect and birds. Okay, pollination means transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma. And pollination, it is a basic process. Okay, if we need fruits. Okay, so after pollination, pollination takes place by many pollinating agents, insect and birds. Okay, insect has a good sense of smell, so they attract with sweet scent, and birds, they have poor sense of smell, so birds attract with bright color. So inflorescence में अगर flowers में अगर good sense scent है तो insect attract करेंगे to collect the nectar and birds attract with the bright color. So moreover, many flowers can be pollinated in a single visit of an agent. In an inflorescence, flowers opens or it matures successively and not simultaneously. So this improves the chances of pollination as flowering period is longer. Then last one is, it is a criteria for identification and classification of plants or flowering plants. Different genera of same family often produce flowers in a particular pattern specific to that family. मतलब हर एक फैमिली की पर्टिकुलर फैमिली के ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है. ओके, वो सेम टाइप ऑफ फ्लावर्स सेम मैनर में प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. सो डिफरेंट जनरा ऑफ अ सेम फैमिली often produce flower in a particular pattern specific to that family. Therefore, it is one of the criteria for identification and classification of flowering plants. Thank you.